Hello, my name is Andrew Pasek, and I'll be going over bond valuations for FMS Securities B. So the first question reads, suppose it's Series A, which has a $100 par value and pays 4.32% cumulative dividend and currently sells for $48 per share. What is the nominal expected rate of return and its effective annual rate of return? What is Energy Corp's expected rate of return at the beginning of 2003, with Value Line's estimated Energy Corp's dividend to be $1.80 at the start of 2003? You first have to find the annual dividend, which is the par value of 100, and multiply by the cumulative dividend of 0.0432%, which gives you a $4.32. Then we find the quarterly dividend, which takes the 4.32 or $4.32 and divided by 4 to get $1.08. Then we take the quarterly return, which is the $1.08, divided by the share price of $48 to get 2.25%. Then we get the nominal rate of return by taking the 2.25% and multiplying it by the 4 quarters, which gives you 9%. Then we can find the effective annual rate of return by taking 1 plus the nominal rate of return to the 4 quarters, which will give you 9.31%. So the second question reads, suppose Series F with a $100 par value and 9.75% cumulative dividend has a mandatory sinking fund provision, which 60,000 of the 300,000 total shares outstanding must be redeemed annually at par beginning at the end of 2004. If the nominal required rate of return is 8%, what is the current January 1st, 2004 value per share? Well, we have to take out parts of the components of this question, which is already given, which is the par value, the cumulative dividend, the shares remaining, and nominal rate of return. So in order to calculate the dividend entitlement, we have to take the 100 par value, multiply it by the 9.75% cumulative dividend, and multiply it by the shares remaining to get the dividend entitlement. To get the sinking fund, we take the 60,000 of the shares being redeemed each and every single year, and then that would eventually lead to the total payment of $8,925,000, which is taking the sum of the dividend entitlement and the sinking fund. And we simply take the total payment and discount it back by the nominal rate, which will give you the present value, which is $8,263,897.92. And we have to do this for each and every single year until the shares remaining cease to exist to zero. And then we get the total present value of $31,322,190.84. And then we take the 300,000 of the total shares, and we get the value per share at the end of January 1st, 2004, which is $104.41. So the next question is asking, what is Energy Corp's expected rate of return at the beginning of 2003? We can calculate the expected rate of return for Energy Corp by taking the $1.80, which is given in Part A of the question, and we can divide it by $22.26, which is given in right here. As of January 1st, 2003, they're trading at $22.26. And then we add the capital gains yield of 6%, which is a 6% growth rate. It is expected to continue to grow indefinitely to get an overall expected rate of return of 14.09%. And the second question is basically dissecting what is the expected dividend yield and expected capital gains yield. So then it's already listed here, which is component A and component B. Expected capital dividends yields of 8.09% and a capital gains yield, which is the consistent growth rate. And also a corollary to this is asking what has to say consistent under constant growth assumptions, which means that capital gains yields and dividend yields has to remain constant in direct correlation with each other in order for this relationship to uphold. So what kind of conditions must be upheld for the constant Gordon model to work? You first have to have dividends that is expected to go forever at a constant rate. You have to have a stock price that is expected to go forever at a constant rate. Then you get the dividend yield must be consistent at a constant rate forever. Then we get the capital gains yields must be constant and equals G. Therefore, you get the total return of K plus G that has to stay consistent and constant forever. And the second question asks, do many real-world stocks satisfy the constant growth assumptions? And that is no. You could find the averages or the standard deviations in order to get a range in which they can stay consistent at. However, you cannot find stocks that stays terminally consistent forever. Therefore, the constant growth assumptions is based on matter of theory, not of matter of fact or actuality. So this question is asking, what is Energy Corp's dividend growth rate valuation if it's supposed to grow at 6% for 5 years and then 7.5% after that? The first thing you want to do is extract the $1.80 from the preceding question, and then we take the $1.80 and we multiply it by the 6% growth rate for each and every single year until you hit year 5, and then we have to multiply it by the 10-year average of 7.5%, which will give you $2.44. And then we can find the terminal value, which is taking the D6 over the required rate of return minus the growth rate, or the terminal growth rate, which is $40.71. And once you get these products, you have to discount it back by the WACC, or the required rate of return, which is 13.5%, by the number of years that it's supposed to be discounted back to, in order to get the price of $28.56 in comparison to the market value of $22.26. Therefore, with the assumptions being upheld, we can say that the market value is actually cheaper than what its valuation is worth under the dividend growth rate model. So this question is asking, what is the expected stock price at the end of 2003 or the beginning of 2004, and what is the stock at equilibrium at the beginning of 2005 or at the end of 2004? This is under the same assumptions as the preceding question. However, you're discounting the WACC 1 year later. Therefore, your WACCs, therefore your present value of cash flows is going to differ based on that time period. Therefore, you get a price of $30.62 if you're starting at the beginning of 2004, and you get a price of $32.85 if you're beginning at the start of 2005. So this question is asking, what is the expected dividend yield and the capital gains yield and the total return for 2003? The expected dividend yield is taking D1, which is $1.80, and dividing it by the stock price that was calculated in slide 6, which gives you 6.3%. Then we take the capital gains yield, which was calculated in slide 7, which is P1, $30.62, minusing it by $28.56, and dividing it by the P0, which is $28.56, to get 7.2%. Therefore, you can get the total return by just adding the expected dividend yield and capital gains yield of 6.3% plus 7.2%, which give you 13.5% as the total return as of 2003. So this question asks, suppose Energy Corp's dividend was expected to remain consistent at $1.80 for the next 5 years and then grow at a constant 6% rate. If the required rate of return is 13.5%, would Energy Corp's stock value be higher or lower than the answer in problem 4? And the answer is that the problem 4 question, which is already calculated at $28.56, will be higher than the price that's being calculated here, due to the fact that you have a consistent dividend that's being dispensed out at $1.80. However, you don't have a 6% growth rate for the first 5 years, and you have a different terminal value, which was 7.5% in question 4 versus a 6% terminal value. Therefore, you're going to have different present values of cash flows and lower present values of cash flows. So taking that all into account, you get the stock value of $19.76 compared to $28.56, which is over. Within that analysis, you can say that the price of computed in problem 4 is overvalued by $8.80, or you can say that this stock is undervalued by $8.80. So this question is the same as question 4. However, the difference is it's inputting the stock value at $22.26 rather than its valuation at $28.56. Therefore, you're going to get a different capital gains yield. And with that in mind, you get a different total rate of return, which will equal 45.65% versus if the valuation price was inputted, then you will get a total return of 36.41%. So this question is asking whether the value line tables assume the 6% growth rate is reasonable. In order to calculate the growth rate with these given tables here, you first have to multiply the return on its equity by its retention rate, which is 1 minus the payout ratio. We do that for each and every single year, and then we average them out by the number of years to get 5.184%. Therefore, you can say that the growth rate of 6% is not actually a reasonable growth rate because it doesn't even lie within the standard deviation of 0.0038. The first part of this question asks, could you develop an estimated long-run sustainable growth rate with the numbers that's given from 2005 to 2007? And the answer is yes, because those numbers that are calculated here gives a percentage of a growth rate of 5.28% for each year for 2006 and 2007, while the standard deviation lies between 5.03% to 5.34%. Therefore, it lies in between that. Therefore, we can say that we can use this long-run sustainable growth rate. So this question is asking whether this figure of 7.5% growth rate supports what was calculated from 2005 to 2007, and the answer is no. It's overcapacity by 1.72%. Therefore, the things that they can do in order to increase their growth rate is by increasing the leveraging, by issuing more debt. Therefore, you can increase your return on equity, or increasing your retention ratio by buying back more shares. And that's one of the things that can get them in a better direction. And that concludes my presentation for bond valuation for FMS Securities B.